name is Andrew Gelfuso. I'm Vice President here at TCMA. I'd like to begin by extending a warm welcome to Mayor Muriel Bowser, Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner, and all of the distinguished guests here today. TCMA is pleased to be the venue sponsor for today's program. We serve as the exclusive manager of the Ronald Reagan Building and International Trade Center through a unique public-private partnership with the United States General Services Administration. We're a subsidiary of the Drew Company, a Boston-based firm, which is a leading property management firm delivering unparalleled service and expertise in real estate development, leasing, building operations, hospitality services, and international trade promotion. We've been here for the past 2 decades, and we've developed this property into a hub for government, business, global commerce, and community. The Ronald Reagan Building and International Trade Center is also the official World Trade Center of Washington, D.C., which connects us to 330 affiliate trade centers in over 100 countries. Here at TCMA, we see ourselves as more than just a business. We see ourselves and this facility as an integral part of the city's vibrant local and international community. This idea is at the heart of not only our programming here in the building, but as well as our business practices. We do our very best to be active and engaged in the Washington business community through a wide range of endeavors, including business, civic, and philanthropic activities. In closing, we're excited to host March Madness here today. It's thrilling to see such a fantastic and large crowd. Again, I'd like to thank the mayor, the deputy mayor, and their teams who've put in so much hard work to organize today's event. Like many of you, we're business people, and we realize the importance and opportunity that a thriving city provides for all of us. Thank you.
Is this an awesome event or what?
Good stuff. Vamos United.
I've always said that my 3 goals are affordable housing, tax revenue, and jobs.
Rich with history, culture, creativity, and cuisine, the district is a shining example of a thriving, vibrant economy.
Unemployment rate has down to really pre-recession levels at this point. And, our tax revenue number is above $7 billion, which is the first time that's ever happened. And so, we're very optimistic about what we've done in Washington, D.C., and we think that we can do even more in 2017.
With thousands of new residents, grocery stores, restaurants, entertainment, and cultural options, D.C.'s retail market continues to mature.
We are doing more affordable housing units than have ever been produced in the District of Columbia before.
We want to protect, preserve, and produce more affordable housing in Washington, D.C. Who's with me?
DC United is staying right here in our nation's capital, the world's greatest city.
It will create jobs, 1,000 construction and permanent jobs, which will allow us to continue to be the jurisdiction here that has the healthiest economy in this region.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? Look at our beautiful campus right here in the heart of Ward 4, and I am just so delighted to see so many people here to celebrate this tremendous milestone. We know that we will have over 3 million square feet of development, 5,000 jobs, 21 units of housing, and we're going to have over 400 units of affordable housing created right here at Walter Reed.
How is everybody doing? Good, good, good. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Brian Kenner. I'm the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, and welcome to March Madness 2017, everybody. This is our real opportunity annually. This is the third year in a row that we have done this, to really talk about a few things. One is the amazing opportunities that we, the government, have for really the people that are in this room. That's residents of the District of Columbia as it relates to jobs, that's small businesses, that's developers, that's subcontractors, that's people that are interested in doing business with the District of Columbia. This opportunity does not come without literally a village to make it happen. And I'm going to get to some of the thank yous here in a second. But it wouldn't be March Madness 2017 if I didn't talk a little bit about basketball, right? So how many people had Xavier in their pool this far? I don't see any, maybe one. I don't see very many people saying that. How many people had 3 number 1 seeds in their pool thus far? Clap if you had 3 number 1 seeds. Damn, nobody's got that. But really similar to March Madness, I think that this is our opportunity to shine. This is our opportunity from the district's perspective, and not just the Deputy Mayor's office, but really a host of DC government agencies to show what we have. How many folks were here last year at March Madness? Like that. How many people, this is their first time? Woo! Good. If it's your first time, hopefully this won't be your last time. Part of the opportunity that we want to present here is not just in terms of the projects that we're going to be talking about, and I think we're going to be talking about 20 or so opportunities from the district's perspective, but also it's about what you all did out front there. It's about meeting people, it's about connecting, it's about preparing to take advantage of these opportunities that we'll be discussing here later on. Want to give a huge thank you to the Drew Company and to the Ronald Reagan Building for hosting us here. How do people like this space, huh? Space is awesome. So I want to thank you all very much for being able to support us as it relates to that. Also, if the people who are in the Deputy Mayor's office could just raise their hand and we can give them a congratulatory clap, because they are doing an awesome job and helping us put this together. I know that we've also got a host of district government agency directors. They could raise their hand and get a round of applause. I see Angie and Arthur, Melinda, I see Todd Lee, I see a few other folks that are here. Again, none of these things would be possible without the hard work of lots of DC government folks to make sure that it happens. As it relates to DEMPED in 2016, I think we had a pretty good year. As you all have probably heard before, and if you haven't, this will be your first time, I got 3 jobs. I got 3 things that I'm supposed to be focused on. I'm supposed to be focused on affordable housing. I need to be focused on increasing tax revenue in the District of Columbia. And I need to be focused on getting DC residents jobs. And it is what guides every single initiative that is in the Deputy Mayor's office. I got to be focused on 1, if not 2, and hopefully all 3 of those opportunities. And doing something like this event, like March Madness, is a great example of all 3 of those opportunities that we can take advantage of. Last year, we were able to continue to move forward to decrease the unemployment rate in the District of Columbia, making sure that DC residents get jobs. I'd like to point out in particular that we are increasingly focused on those areas that we have some of the highest unemployment levels. That's Ward 7 and Ward 8, where we've seen the most decrease in unemployment. I believe that Ward 7 continues to be under 10% as an unemployment rate. Tax revenue. I think in the video you heard that we're above $7 billion in tax revenue for the first time. But I think if you look from 2013 to 2016, I think that we've increased our total taxable amounts collected by about $1 billion. And again, I would charge that, or I would question whether any other state, and hopefully the District of Columbia soon will be a state, but I would ask, thank you, that's a good one. I think very few states today could say that they have increased their taxable collections by $1 billion in the last 5 years. And I think that speaks to the strength of the district's economy in many ways. And then finally, affordable housing. This mayor has committed $100 million to support affordable housing in the Housing Production Trust Fund. That in and of itself is an awesome commitment. Going one step further than that, though, the Department of Housing and Community Development, led by Director Donaldson, has been the first to actually get out the door in a calendar year $100 million. Last year, she got out $103 million. And one of the opportunities that you're going to be hearing about a little bit later on is the next window for the Housing Production Trust Fund that's going to be coming out. You know, as we sort of think about some of the other opportunities that are in the District of Columbia, you know, I think that this slide in particular probably speaks to the strength, again, of what we have in Washington, D.C. We see residential, we see hotel, we see all of those elements that show that the district, from an economic development perspective, from a real estate perspective, from a subcontracting perspective, from a jobs perspective, is continuing to grow. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have challenges. Recently, the Deputy Mayor's Office, we released an economic development strategy that really focuses on really two big goals that we think are important to helping us address some of the challenges that come with a prosperous economy. One is that we want to make sure that we are continuing to drive private sector job growth in the District of Columbia. The public sector does not drive job growth in DC. If you look at job growth in the district over the last 6 years, public sector is completely flat. All of our new jobs are being created on the private side, and we've got to make sure that we provide opportunities around that. And so one of our goals is to get the private sector GDP in the District of Columbia to $100 billion by 2021. And that is purposeful. We need to focus on private economy increasingly in the District of Columbia. Second goal that we have is to continue to think about unemployment. And the way that we've positioned that in the economic development strategy is we want to make sure that we are getting unemployment below 10% in each and every ward in the District of Columbia. But in addition to that, we also want to make sure that we are getting unemployment underneath 10%, regardless of your educational attainment or regardless of your racial background. That is increasingly what you're going to hear from the economic development side, and obviously I think also being driven by the mayor. We want to make sure that we are the most inclusive economy in the United States. We want to make sure that we are inclusive as it relates to innovation. We want to make sure we are inclusive as it relates to prosperity in the District of Columbia. That is the place where we feel like we can make the best and most significant impact. All of these things would not be possible were it not for the leadership of our mayor. I could tell you about how the Washington Post said that she's doing more affordable housing than anybody else in the country is doing. I could tell you about all the awards that we've gotten from Forbes and all these other places in terms of being a tech city, being the coolest city, being a place that's best for women entrepreneurs in the United States. But I think most importantly is this concept of inclusive prosperity and the importance increasingly that it takes in Washington, D.C. to make sure that we're making a difference for as many people as possible. So with that, I would like to welcome our mayor, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Well, good morning. Welcome to March Madness. It's wonderful to see so many people here on the various tiers in this wonderful auditorium. And let me add my thanks to Andrew Gelfuso for partnering with the city to invite you to March Madness 2017. Now, for me, it's hard to believe that this is the third time we're doing this, because it seems like just yesterday I was sworn into office as the 7th mayor of the District of Columbia. And when we look back on the 22 months we've had the opportunity to lead, I couldn't be more proud of the DemPed team. You heard from Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner. Isn't he doing an awesome job? Give him a big round of applause. But Brian has also assembled a fantastic team, not only of project managers and real estate executives in the DMPED office itself, but also in the entire DMPED cluster. And he talks about the 3 jobs that he has, but I can sum up those 3 jobs into 1 job, and that's to get deals done that are in the best interest of the taxpayers and the people of the District of Columbia. And that is what they have done very well. We realized early on that and we know this, of course, that the District of Columbia can't do it alone. And that's why we are so anxious to partner with the private sector, members, developers, contractors, designers, design professionals who share our values for delivering the best products on time for the residents of the District of Columbia. We realized that we had to be predictable in everything that we did and make big commitments. That's why early on we made the $100 million commitment to affordable housing so the private sector would know what and when the city and how the city could be involved in projects. And that is a commitment that we will continue to live up to. We knew that what you want is opportunity, and that's why you're here today. I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to meet and greet each other before you hear about our exciting projects. But our role in government is to make sure that we are moving as fast as we can in a predictable way to get projects out. I had the opportunity, of course, to be on the council for 8 years, and part of that time I chaired the Economic Development Committee. In no time in the last 10 years have I seen the number of quality projects be delivered from DMPED to give you the opportunity to work with us, bid on projects, and put DC residents to work. In one single legislative session last year, DMPED moved 11 projects through the Council of the District of Columbia, and that takes a lot of work. So please acknowledge them for that incredible work. We also have a commitment to transparency, and Brian and his team have been very focused on data and getting that data out so residents, policymakers, budget makers, and you could stay focused on the opportunities that would be available and hold us accountable for delivering on the projects that we promised. And so I hope that you will take the opportunity to look at all the DMPED dashboards that show how we're producing projects, where the projects are located, and how we're getting those delivered for neighborhoods across the District of Columbia. We also promised that we would be focused on all 8 wards in Washington, D.C., and that's important. Sometimes it's easy to pick the low-hanging fruit and much harder to focus on the projects that have been tough to get done and get delivered, but that is all of our responsibility. And so we look to you for your fresh ideas about how to deliver more affordable housing, for example, how to make sure that we are using sustainable practices to get all of our work done, because that too is important to us. Now, as much as we've gotten done, there's much more to do. Unlike most jurisdictions, actually unlike any jurisdiction in the United States, we know exactly what our capital needs are moving forward. We've worked with our chief financial officers who assess all the district's facilities. That includes roads, that includes fire stations, police stations, our correctional facilities, our schools, our recreation centers, and our parks, and even our streetlights. So we know what we need to do to get those facilities in a state of good repair. And while sometimes that project like that could seem daunting and the numbers seem even more daunting, they're perfectly feasible for us to do with the right planning and with the private sector that can help us get that work done. We know we need about $4.5 billion of work for all of our public facilities. And we have gained over the last 10 years that type of experience. We spent over $7 billion in schools. We have about $1.5 billion to go. And you know we have our eyes on replacing the MPD headquarters and our corrections facility. And there will be many other opportunities just like that. We're going to have a bigger focus on getting our local roads in a state of good repair than we've had since the time I've been in DC government. So the reason I know that you're here is because you want us to continue to be the best city in the world. And great cities build their economy by working with their own local companies, and we also have a plan for that. So I hope that you will continue to follow our Green Book, to work with our DSLBD and to work with DGS and all of our agencies that are responsible for demonstrating opportunities in the district. And what I always like to say, if you want to work with us, look at that Green Book, because that's what we're buying. If you want to work with us, have some fresh ideas about how to get these facilities done under budget, using green practices and making them high quality facilities. We also need your ideas about producing more affordable housing. And we're very proud to say that we've invested more than any other administration in the history of the district in affordable housing. But then we quickly add, we need a lot more. And the government won't be able to do it alone. So we look for your ideas, financing ideas, construction ideas about how we can better leverage our dollars. Now, I'm frequently asked in the last several months, how have things changed? What's different in Washington, D.C., given changes in our political environment? And a lot changed on election day, but our values and how we implement them in Washington, D.C. didn't. We'll have some challenges, and we know, especially in the affordable housing sector, many things may change. So that's why it's more important than ever that we're creative, that we work together, and that we maintain our local steadfast commitment to delivering on these things. I couldn't be more proud of our DMPED team who have been aggressive and creative and fair, and have put in the pipeline for us really fantastic projects for Washingtonians. So thank you for being here. Continue to work with us. Meet some people that you haven't met, because we know with these types of convenings, one of the best things, you're going to hear about our projects and what we have planned, but you may also learn how you can work together. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's get into it. So the first set of projects that we're going to be talking about are from the Deputy Mayor's Office for Planning and Economic Development. As the Mayor mentioned, part of our job is to make sure that we are moving forward projects. That's both through the legislative process, but more importantly, that's also making sure that we get to deal completion. And we have a director of real estate development in our office who is responsible for that. The real estate portfolio for the Deputy Mayor's Office is over 90 individual projects, and it's about a $13 billion real estate portfolio, so it is not inconsequential. And if you just look at the person I'm about to bring up, you can probably tell that he's about business and about getting projects done. So I'd like to welcome up Sarosh Olpadwala.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Kenner. I echo our Deputy Mayor's excitement about the progress we have made and what we will deliver for the residents of the District of Columbia. 2 years ago, I stood before many of the same people here today for the first March Madness, and since then, our solicitations have resulted in over 1.4 million square feet of development, including over 350 affordable housing units, the majority of which are at or below 50 and 30% AMI. At DMPED, we are prioritizing the lowest income levels to provide residents with affordable housing, and you have helped us do that. Thank you. As you know, Washington, D.C. is primed for new development, and we have moved projects big and small to the benefit of residents all over the city in all 8 wards. But we have also focused on keeping longtime residents, on improving underserved neighborhoods, and on increasing affordable housing. Towards that end, we have put renewed focus in the New Communities Initiative. In March 2015, Mayor Bowser said that she would double down on the new communities, and that is exactly what we have done. There are 4 new communities neighborhoods: Barry Farm, Lincoln Heights Richardson Dwellings, Northwest 1, and Park Morton. For the first time since New Communities was launched in 2005, DEMPED has substantial movement and forward progress on all 4 New Communities neighborhoods. And another first, this one a national first. Park Morton will be the first full-scale public housing redevelopment in the country that is done without displacing public housing residents from their neighborhood. Today, thank you. Today, we are pleased to continue the forward progress by announcing the issuance of 2 solicitations from New Communities, starting with Lincoln Heights. The Lincoln Heights community is located in Deanwood Hills in Ward 7. The neighborhood is bounded by 2 major commuter routes, East Capitol Street and Nannie Helen Burroughs Avenue. The DC Housing Authority owns and operates Lincoln Heights. DEMPED is currently producing off-site replacement housing at The Strand and 5201 Hayes. This is key to the New Communities Build First principle, where the district develops off-site housing within the neighborhood so as not to displace residents from it. Next, we have another New Communities property, 2 Patterson Street Northeast. 2 Patterson is located in Ward 6, just blocks from NOMA Metro Station, and is an off-site parcel for the New Communities Northwest 1 project. The site is a 1-acre corner parcel fronting North Capitol Street. The RFP for 2 Patterson will mark the final solicitation for the New Communities Northwest 1 project. Next up is Eastern Branch Boys and Girls Club. Located in Ward 6 on the eastern edge of Capitol Hill, it is part of Hill East neighborhood. The RFP will be a product of Mayor Bowser's Our RFP process, and we will be prioritizing 100% CBE participation on this project. The Our RFP process uses a series of community meetings and online portal to collect residents' input prior to writing the RFP so that the community's priorities are understood and incorporated in the development solicitation. At the first March Madness, Mayor Bowser unveiled the Our RFP initiative, and since then we have had 5 projects use the process: Parcel 42, Cromell School, 1125 Spring Road, Northwest 1, and now Eastern Branch Boys and Girls Club. The site is currently a 3-story building of approximately 30,000 square feet. It is zoned for a variety of uses, including residential. The RFP will be inclusive of community input gathered during the RFP process, including but not limited to a neighborhood serving component, opportunities for home ownership, and a focus on green and sustainability. More information on all of these projects will be on our website. We look forward to continuing to work with you and our communities on the development of Washington, D.C. With that, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Sabangale Cook, the Great Streets Director, to make another exciting announcement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharosh. Good morning. How is everyone? Fantastic. I'm extremely honored and excited this morning to announce our Neighborhood Prosperity Fund. Similar to how HPTF fills gaps for affordable housing projects, this pilot, it will help fund the gap for non-residential components of mixed-use projects. Inspired by the mayor's economic strategy to reduce unemployment in all wards under 10%, we will target projects in communities through census tract data where unemployment is above 10%. Up to $3 million is available for this fund. We will award 1 or multiple smaller awards. The Neighborhood Prosperity Fund pilot will release in April of 2017. At this time, I would like to introduce Polly Donaldson, our Director of Housing Community Development. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be here as Director of the Department of Housing and Community Development, or as all of you affectionately call us, DHCD, and it's great to be here for DemPed's March Madness. Every day, our team at DHCD of over 170 employees follows the playbook of producing and preserving opportunities for affordable housing and economic development and revitalizing underserved communities in the District of Columbia. When Mayor Bowser tasked me with leading DHCD in January 2015, she gave the agency 3 short-term goals, and I'm pleased to say that we've accomplished each of them. First, leveraging what I call the John Wall of the district's affordable housing investment efforts. That, of course, is the $100 million for investment in the Housing Production Trust Fund that the mayor has done every year in office. No other city housing fund in the U.S. matches this amount. We made sure also that this was not just a budgeted line item. We've made sure that we've gotten the money out the door, as you've heard, to produce and preserve needed affordable housing for district residents. In fact, in this past fiscal year, we did commit a historic $106.3 million to 19 different projects for affordable housing. And in just the first 5 months of this fiscal year, 1/2 of the Housing Production Trust Fund is already allocated to projects that will produce and preserve affordable housing for district residents. As a result of the mayor's commitment, the district has produced and preserved in total over 3,100 affordable housing units, and over 3,700 units are currently in our development pipeline. You'll shortly learn more about our next steps in growing our pipeline. Second, I was tasked with implementing an affordable housing preservation strategy. I chaired an 18-member strike force that within a short period developed 6 critical recommendations that will have a long-lasting impact in preserving our existing affordable housing stock. We are aggressively moving forward on the strike force action plan so that our residents do not lose housing affordability across the district. And as you will soon hear, housing preservation also means helping our residents keep their homes safe. And third, I was asked to clear our pipeline of vacant and blighted properties. We inherited over 150 properties at DHCD, ranging from vacant buildings to empty lots. This is an inheritance that we want to give back to our residents in the form of properties that have a productive use. We already have concrete plans that will transform 60% of those properties, something that's not been done before, and our plan is even bigger for 2017, as I will speak to shortly. So now let me share DHCD's bracket-breaking opportunities for developers, nonprofits, and community organizations. First, and this is the big one, is our consolidated request for proposals for affordable housing projects to be released on March 31st. We use RFPs to award federal and local funds to produce and preserve affordable housing units. And the 2017 RFP will include approximately $100 million in gap funding from the Housing Production Trust Fund and other local and federal funding sources. Second, we believe that preserving home ownership in our neighborhoods is a key value for the district. Sometimes a house is broken and needs fixing, and it may have a leaking roof, building code violations, lead paint hazards, or need accessibility modifications. We want to ramp up our responsiveness to the critical repair needs of our residents, particularly for our seniors and the disabled. So on April 7th, DHCD is releasing a request for applications under its single-family residential rehabilitation program for critical home repair requests. If you're quick on your feet, you can be our star player in administering the critical repair efforts that will keep the homes of our seniors, the disabled, and other residents safer and more accessible. And then finally, in our communities, vacant and blighted properties can block a neighborhood's vision for a better future. Several DHCD-acquired vacant and blighted properties are in Ward 8, where from the MLK Gateway to St. Elizabeth's, we are seeing growth and prosperity in development. We don't want these properties to be a blemish on our Ward 8 community. So we are issuing 3 solicitations in May to turn 10 clustered Ward 8 properties into affordable housing. And citywide, by the end of 2017, we commit that every vacant and blighted property in our inventory will be in the process of transformation into affordable housing and mixed-use communities. So I ask you to please visit the DHCD table for more details on these opportunities. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce Keith Anderson, Director of the DC Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Keith Anderson, Director of DC's Department of Parks and Recreation, and let me tell you, it is a pleasure to be here with you this morning. DPR is one of the largest landowners in the district with more than 900 acres of green space, 34 urban gardens, 371 parks, 12 dog parks, 95 playgrounds, 115 athletic fields, 265 sport courts, 76 recreation facilities, and 54 aquatic facilities and features. DPR is working hard with our sister agency, the Department of General Services, to create exciting opportunities for those of you in attendance today. We have many upcoming projects, but I'd like to briefly highlight 3 of those for you this morning. First, the East Potomac Competition Pool. The East Potomac Competition Pool and Pool House are located at 972 Ohio Drive Southwest, adjacent to the East Potomac Golf Course. Both the pool and the pool house are in need of major improvements, and DPR is currently working with the Hughes Group architects to help us finalize the design. Our plans include reconfiguration and upgrades of the existing locker rooms and administrative areas, construction of new family changing rooms, creating an ADA-compliant main entrance, as well as retail space. Other improvements include spectator seating, site lighting, security upgrades, and a new competition-level swimming pool with diving platforms. Design is nearing completion, and a general contractor will be selected in May to bring these designs into reality. Up next is the Edgewood Park and Recreation Center. The Edgewood Park and Recreation Center is located in Ward 5, just north of Rhode Island Avenue. DPR is working with Moody Nolan Architecture on finalizing the construction documents for a brand new recreation center and park improvements. The new recreation center at Edgewood will house DPR's first working rooftop urban farm and will also include a full-size indoor gymnasium, our largest indoor fitness facility, and meeting spaces for the community. Other improvements include multi-purpose field renovations, new playgrounds and a splash pad, new sport courts, lighting, fencing, and security upgrades. We expect the solicitation to hire a general contractor to occur in April with an anticipated construction period beginning summer of 2017 and lasting through the summer of 2018. Last but not least, but a project that is near and dear to me, is the Fort Greble Urban Nature Center. DPR's property at Fort Greble is located in Ward 8 and is adjacent to the Leckie Elementary School off of Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue Southwest. DPR is currently working with Studio 27 Architecture and finalizing the design for our first net zero facility, which will be one of the first, if not the first, net zero recreation and nature centers in the United States, if not the world. The scope of this work will be to raise the existing field house and replace it with the new facility that would include rainwater harvesting systems, solar, thermal wall systems, LED lighting, and other smart technologies of high-level sustainability. The new state-of-the-art facility will include a demonstration kitchen, community rooms, computer lab, office space, and other programmable spaces for community interaction. Once completed, the center will serve as a working model of environmental sustainability and will host a wide variety of urban nature programming. Design is nearing completion, and a general contractor will be selected this summer to construct the new facility. Thank you again for your attendance this morning and for your interest in making the District of Columbia, improving the District of Columbia. As we continue, please help me welcome Mr. Judah Gluckman, Deputy Director with the Office of Public-Private Partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction, Director Anderson, and good afternoon to everyone. As Director Anderson said, my name is Judah Gluckman, and I'm with the DC Office of Public-Private Partnerships, or as we like to call ourselves, DC OP3. Now, for those who haven't heard of us, OP3 was created by Mayor Bowser just about a year ago, and we're charged with delivering and maintaining major public infrastructure through the P3 model. And the P3 approach, we ask our private partners not just to design and build a facility, but we also ask them to finance and maintain it as well through a long-term performance-based agreement. And this has a lot of benefits. First, P3 spur innovation. We focus on outcomes rather than outputs. It also incentivizes better life cycle management and maintenance. And finally, P3s leverage private financing so that we can free up public debt for other deserving projects as well. So you can see why we're excited to get started, and we owe a big debt of gratitude to Mayor Bowser for having the idea in the first place. Since launching, we've briefed every district agency and public stakeholders to get them comfortable with the concept of the P3 model. We've established our procurement process through a transparent and collaborative manner. We've also developed a pipeline of a dozen projects. This pipeline, which you see here, spans every facility type, from streetlights and renewable energy projects to fire and police facilities to rec centers and government office buildings. I want to highlight just a few of the projects that we're working on that are going to come up very soon. The first project in our pipeline is the Daly Building, which of course is our police headquarters in Judiciary Square in Ward 2. This is a long overdue project that will provide MPD with a state-of-the-art facility so they can achieve their critical public safety mission more effectively. It also will preserve a historic landmark in the process. It may also allow us to consolidate other government offices into this newly renovated building, and it will be maintained in a good state of repair by a private partner who potentially could do so for 30 or more years. Second on the list is our Corrections Center. This would be a construction of a new modern facility to replace the old DC jail in Hill East. This will help the Department of Corrections deliver better outcomes for our returning citizens with better space for drug treatment, job training, employment training. And it will also be a more environmentally friendly and efficient facility and a better neighbor to the surrounding community. So we expect to launch both of those projects this spring, so I hope you'll stay tuned for more details and learn more about us. If you want to learn more, come visit our website. You can learn about our pipeline and how our procurement process works at our website, which is op3.dc.gov. We plan to have lots of opportunities for local businesses and residents who want to help DC build. And with that, we couldn't do what we do without our public sector partners, who we like to call our owner agencies. And we really have no better partner than the Department of General Services. And so it's now my pleasure to introduce DGS Director Greer Johnson Gillis.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to join Mayor Muriel Bowser, Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner, and my fellow directors to welcome you to DMPED's March Madness event. And we certainly have an amazing turnout today. My name is Greer Johnson Gillis, and I am the Director of the Department of General Services, or DGS. DGS performs a broad range of functions in behalf of our partnering agencies and district residents. We manage capital improvement programs and construction projects. We perform property acquisitions and disposals. We provide building management services for facilities owned and operated by the district. Today, I am proud to share with you a new DGS initiative called the Launchpad. The Launchpad is an initiative focused on providing opportunities for local certified business enterprises, or CBEs. Yes, we heard you, CBEs. You want more opportunities. DGS will host a monthly Shark Tank style competition, during which CBEs can present their qualifications to our DGS senior management team, who are serving as the Launchpad judges. Each CBE will have 5 minutes to present their qualifications and compete for a contract award with DGS of up to $10,000. Contracts will be awarded the same day of the presentations to the best qualified CBE. We are extremely proud about the Launchpad initiative, and we firmly believe it will create a pipeline of new opportunities to build capacity for our small businesses in Washington, D.C. And in doing so, it furthers Mayor Bowser's initiatives of creating pathways to the middle class. For more information about the Launchpad, please see our team at the lobby, in the lobby, at our table out in the lobby, as well as visit our website at dgs.dc.gov. And now I will turn it over to Director Anna Harvey of DSLBD. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Anna Harvey, and I'm the very proud director of the Department of Small and Local Business Development. And I want to thank Mayor Bowser and Deputy Mayor Kenner for inviting our CBEs to this great event. So, where are my CBEs here today? Can you stand up for a minute? I just want to see you stand up. Thank you. Great. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, do we have any small and local businesses here that are not CBEs yet? One. All right. You got some homework to do. Okay, we don't have competition, guys, so that's kind of okay. So anyway, so I just want to reiterate that we have heard from different agencies today, and I hope you can actually see the change that's coming. This administration is really, this is part of the efforts of the administration to really put opportunities in front of you ahead of time. Just like we did it with the Green Book, and I think the mayor mentioned the Green Book. And I want you, our small businesses and our CBEs, to be prepared. So I think you saw outside that we have our desk, but I really want you to reach out to us, to my department, to make sure that anything that you need when it comes to a contract, we can help you with. We are willing to help you negotiate, push you a little bit so you are really prepared. And to our developers and prime contractors that we have here, I also would like you to reach out to our agency, because what we want to do is align the capabilities of our very wonderful CBEs and small businesses with the needs that you have, given the projects that you have here, you have seen here, and you will also have in the future. So I want to thank you very much for being here. To our CBEs, please remember that we're committed to see you, to help you plan, to see you prosper. So please reach out to us. And now please help me welcome Ms. Tanya Stern, Deputy Director for Planning, Engagement and Design from the Office of Planning. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Director Harvey. There is one foundational document that promotes and ties together all of the initiatives you have heard about this morning: leveraging district government assets to improve our communities, supporting CBEs and other local and small businesses, and promoting public-private partnerships. This is the district's comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan is the district's 20-year vision for the future planning and development of Washington, D.C. It was adopted in 2006 as legislation, so its policies have legal weight. It provides broad policy guidance for neighborhoods across the city, as well as for topics such as land use, housing, economic development, and community facilities. The plan also provides a framework for zoning through its text and 2 maps, including a future land use map, which provides land use designations for every site in the city, publicly or privately owned. The plan was last amended in 2011, and we are now in the middle of the Second Amendment cycle, which launched last year. I'm pleased to announce today the launch of the open call for proposed amendments. Any member of the public can propose amendments to the text and maps of the comprehensive plan. The open call will last for 60 days through May 26th. The Office of Planning is also hosting technical assistance office hours. Please visit our project website, plandc.dc.gov, for more information, or email us at plandc@dc.gov. And please, before you leave, please stop by the Office of Planning table to talk with our staff about the comprehensive plan and the amendment process. And now I would like to introduce the Deputy Mayor for Education, Jenny Niles.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, I'm used to being a teacher. Good morning. All right. So I'm so glad that you guys are all with my Deputy Mayor, Brian Kenner, one of my favorite deputy mayors. But we all know that education is the undergirding of all of the work that you guys want to do. And so I'm really pleased to bring to you two things that we have in education, in the education cluster. As you may know, my office works both with the public charter schools, with the RFOs, and that's what I'm going to share in just a minute, as well as the public education facilities for DCPS. Last year, we released two buildings. That was PR Harris and the Keene School, PR Harris in Ward 8 and Keene in Ward 4, and we were really excited to award both of those so that they can be long-term homes for our public charter schools. We believe that all students everywhere in the district need to have a world-class education, and that we will be able to deliver that and be one of the first cities in the country to do so. So let me turn to the two projects that I want to tell you about. The first is Fletcher Johnson School, which is in Ward 7. First, Fletcher Johnson is a 15-acre site. It's one of the largest sites that we have offering you today, and it's a 300,000 square foot building. It is within a half mile of Benning Road Metro Station on the blue and silver lines. It is primed to flourish as a mixed-use, multi-purpose site. Our vision for the site is to serve as a community hub that includes educational programming, as well as potential mixed use of retail, housing, community meeting space. And in the spring, we're going to hold a community development workshop, which will engage community leaders, developers, stakeholders to discuss the potential reuse opportunities, the project feasibility, and financing possibilities. The community development workshop will also serve as a partnering event to enable attendees to forge relationships that will lead to the reuse of Fletcher Johnson that provides the maximum benefit to the community and stakeholders. Following the community development workshop, we will release an RFO in the summer 2017 to solicit redevelopment proposals. There are lots of folks in Ward 7 who are also very excited about this opportunity. So if you are interested, please join us at that community development workshop so that we can come up with some feasible, exciting plans for Ward 7. The second one is the Winston Education Campus. This is also in Ward 7. It's a site of almost 2 acres with 140,000 square feet school building, and it's right adjacent to the Hillcrest Rec Center. This site has the restriction of being required to be used for educational, recreational use because of the federal land that it's on. And it will be a great community asset as we reinvigorate that school. The Hillcrest neighborhood is also very excited and very interested in what will happen in that building. We anticipate releasing an RFO for this in April. It's now I'd like to turn back to our host, Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner.
How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. We are about to be wrapped up here, but a few things. One is that we will continue to have people outside at booths if you have any questions about any of the projects that you heard here today or want any additional information. Here is a listing of the projects that we talked about today. You don't have to take it down now. It is on our website right now today that you can see, and it will give you a link to go to the respective agency to find out more information about that. Also wanted to give you all a little bit of sense about timing for some of them. And I know we are very deliberate when we do timing because we don't want to release everything on the same day. We want to give people an opportunity to partner, to talk, to think, and to, I was about to use a George W. Bush strategize around how to go after these opportunities. Want to give just a few more thank yous. Big thank you to the Chamber of Commerce who helped us put this on. I see their president and CEO here, so thank you, sir, very much for all the efforts that the Chamber has done. Also, thank you to yourselves. You all have been through March Madness 2017 now. We look very much forward to having an opportunity to talk to you next year about the awesome opportunities and to answer any questions that you all may have. With that, feel free to enjoy yourselves outside and look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.